All right, welcome to the Hogcast. This is your host, Chris Gogol, with Raymond House and Gerald Howard. We're just going to get right into it today. We're a little bit short on time, but I'll run through the box score here quick. Cole Kelly, 8 of 13 for 140 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Austin Allen, 12 of 24, 84 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. David Williams, 7 for 32. Chase Hayden, 9 for 28. Receiving wise, Nance again had a pretty solid game, 8 for 116. Jordan Jones, 3 for 37. And Deion Stewart, 3 for 26. I'm not going to get into the South Carolina box score. We'll just kind of roll with it from here. But I think this game pretty much tale of two halves again. First half, what was it, 7? Other than the very end of the game, the very end of the first half, it was what, 10-10? And they got that late PI call on Curl in the end zone.
Yeah, and so when you say tale of two halves, for who? For
Arkansas, Arkansas,
for the Razorbacks,
yeah.
Because I'm not real sure if you saw anything different second half versus the first half.
I suppose. I mean, score wise.
Yeah. Score. I mean, but it's
just simply score wise.
Just being able to put up points,
right,
and then. I mean, but you can argue that, but at the end of the game, they did put up more points in the second half than they did the first half.
No, that's, yeah.
I mean, numerically speaking, but I think it wasn't a tale of two halves. And I think that's part of the problem.
Okay.
That you still see the lack of adjustment when it gets to the second half of the game. They're either the exact same or worse sometimes as far as the execution, as far as what it appears to be their strategy is. And here's the daunting stat. And now with this loss under the Brett Bielema era, 0-16 when trailing at the half, no matter what that amount is, whether that be 1 point or 20 points, 0-16 when there's a deficit going into the halftime. And here's the thing, that is a telltale sign that there are issues with making the right adjustments and saying these are the things that we obviously have a gap on that are doing wrong, or if we even find some things that are successful, how do we maintain that and continue that and anticipate what the other team is going to do to be able to combat that once we get in? It just seems like we're low, and yes, it's a road game. Yes, we can't. It's always tough. You're not comfortable. There's a little bit of a drag that's there, but you still have to find a way to coach and motivate through that. Now, I think that's the most troubling thing up to this point, to be able to say numbers like that.
So do you have anything like specific on that, like that you can see that you're just like, why are they not changing that up? You know what I'm saying? Or is it just in general? It's just across the board that every game that you go, obviously because they're 0-16, but every time in the second half, there's just no type of adjustment. There isn't any one thing, I guess, that I'm asking about.
I don't. It's tough to say because I do see there being attempts to do things differently or to try to throw other wrinkles out there. They're just not successful attempts. Right? And I think that speaks to the bigger problem of this team having a lack of identity and really being able to say, I can do this and be successful offensively. I can do this being successful defensively. And when those things don't work out, here's the other things I know we can pretty much lean on. But they don't have that they can actually say. There's nothing they can really hang their hat on to say this is something that we can accomplish to put ourselves in a position to win games, especially when the going gets tough on the road and we have some mistakes piled on top of us. They don't have that.
And the thing that's surprising about that, obviously, is, I mean, we'll say it in the room, it's the elephant in the room, is that this offensive line is just not where it needs to be. That's always something that Bielema could always lean on when he was at Wisconsin, and even really earlier in his in his tenure here at Arkansas, he had halfway decent offensive lines. They may not have been all Americans or anything like that, but they had some depth and they had some dudes up front that could hold down the fort. But this year and kind of even last year, it's just more of the same thing. Can't pass block, can't run block, can't do really anything. And you're seeing that. You're seeing your quarterback in the second quarter. The arm thing, and then obviously he doesn't play pretty much the whole fourth quarter. I mean, do we put any of this, like, is it just coaching staff, or do you guys see something players wise, like offensively or anything that could be changed? I really liked Six. Help me out with that. TJ Hammonds.
Mm-hmm.
He needs the ball. Like, they need just set package. I like the little bubble screens out to him. I like getting him in the backfield and pitching the ball out to him. He's kind of our hold your breath guy that we've been looking for. I like, he just looked good to me.
You were talking about the bubble screens. I think it seems like we've been abandoning the run, and there were talks preseason, right? We were supposed to be tight end U.
Yeah, I know.
Where are they?
Yeah.
When do we use them? But I think if we're abandoning the run, and I saw a lot of it in the A&M Alabama game, as we're not able to run between the tackles, right? A&M couldn't do that last night on Bama, but they ran that little quick pass, get it out. It's just like running an outside run.
Right.
That's your Hammonds guy, and then you have to
probably
commit
even do that with Hayden
to doing with Hayden too. But I think you still have to. There's been so many games in this season and last season that seem like we just abandon any running attack.
Once we get to a certain point where, and there is some. If you feel like you can't do it, then you're going to stop doing it and try to figure something else out.
Right. Well, right. I get that.
But that's part of the adjustment that needs to be made.
The quick pass is like running a sweep.
But I think you can. I mean, I kind of feel like are there some other wrinkles you can put in there to be able to be successful at it to a certain point? Because at that point we become predictable, we become one-dimensional, and we don't have the athletes right now to be predictable and one-dimensional. We need to take some folks by surprise because we don't have that anymore, and that's. I think that's kind of tough to say. I think it's kind of tough for this coaching staff to say because they have a brand that they want to advertise.
Right. Every week now. I just look at athletes, and I really thought this was a winnable game. Like, we could really go steal this one. I figured it'd be close, right? But looking. This is just eye test. South Carolina looked better. They look better in their stuff. Their athletes look better. And some schools, LSU, your Bamas, but we could always run. We could run with the South Carolinas. They just looked like they had better athletes. And they were executing too. I mean, we're just talking about look.
Yeah. I mean,
look.
Too many times you could see that we in some cases we were a step slow.
Right.
Maybe a little bit less of aggressive if we needed to be.
Yeah,
maybe not
definitely
got the push that we needed. Now here's the thing. That's not the end of the world if you put the guys out there in positions to be successful and use those strategies to attack what you feel like is a weakness from the opposing team. And you don't make mistakes to be able to do it. If you can playing mistake-free, sound football, fundamentally sound, with the right strategy, always can combat whatever step that you lose in speed or whatever advantage you lose as far as size is concerned.
Mm-hmm. And I think another concerning thing too is just the turnovers and at the worst places, the worst times possible. I think Cheyenne O'Grady had the fumble at the very beginning of the game. Chase Hayden had the fumble that got returned for the touchdown. Or no. They actually called him down. It was after that when Allen. Right after.
How crazy is that for those type of plays to happen with that type of proximity?
Well, just say, like, you guys have been there. Just put yourselves in that situation where, I know we didn't have instant replay at that time, but just how crushing that was at that point. And then having to go through it again.
Yeah. It's just,
all over again. Just okay, good. We got a lifeline there. We're all right. We still got a chance here. And then I was like, Well, they ain't coming back from this one now because that was the knockout.
I think you had just texted me, and I was like, if we hold here.
Yeah.
I said, hold on.
Yeah. You literally, right after that.
I just pressed send it.
And like, nope.
The next play,
never mind.
Forget what I just texted.
It was
Moving
unreal.
on.
I mean, -4 in the turnover department.
So, I'm just, it got to the point where, so the first half, both sides, both Arkansas,
Sluggish.
it was a snoozer.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you could just rock you to sleep. But so you had to figure the team that came out with energy, the team that came out with tenacity and aggression and some vigor into the second half was going to be in position to take control of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that out of South Carolina. And then you look at the body language and just it had a feel to where you kind of figured that, hey, this is probably not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it felt like. You even felt it going into half with the pass interference call in the end zone. You're just like, man, they're gonna start giving this away here, and then second half it just
so that was a bad call though. That pass interference it was a bad. Well, no,
call.
I won't say it was terrible. It was a bad call because
he needed to get his head around.
He did need to get his head around.
Yes.
And the ref automatically contact with no vision to the ball, they're gonna call it. Even though the contact wasn't made until the ball was within the frame of play.
Oh yeah.
Great defensive call, but it's gonna be a tough situation. And they got to the point where they're picking on Curl too. I mean, you already knew. They figured out, we got a freshman right there. We're gonna put our best guy and we're gonna work him out. And even if it's not completions, we just want to run him. We just want to challenge and run him. And maybe we get him to the point where his eyes are in the wrong place, his legs are heavy, and then we get him making a mistake. And then the touchdown was just an unbelievable catch back in the corner. That just game eventually just get in there. So.
You're missing Ryan Pulley, no doubt about that.
That's tough.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's same thing with. I mean, offensive wise, it is what it is at this point, the offensive line. But we're gonna go ahead and flip the break. We'll be right back here in a second.